So here I'm looking to explain to you some of the things that have been happening amongst the committee behind the scenes that you may or may not have noticed. First, the very unglamorous bit of policy updates. So we have routinely updated our safety, our safeguarding, our data protection policies. Obviously, the safety in particular is going to have to be redone in light of our big new policy, our COVID-safe operating procedures, which are very much guided by British Orienteering, but applied in our local context. There's been some changes to the website and social media presence. With a revamp of the website, hopefully making it easier to find things, particularly focusing on newcomers being able to navigate and find stuff, but we didn't want to make it so that experienced club members couldn't find what they were used to finding. We've increased our social media presence, particularly posting a lot more about events from events, use of videos and various other things. Different types of social media, introducing Instagram, YouTube, things like that, and much more getting us out there in wider orienteering groups in social media. For instance, our armchair orienteering threads during lockdown were shared by many clubs around the country. And there's a quick snippet of some of our social media outlets. We've done quite a lot on our permanent orienteering courses, promoting the existing ones, setting up just for fun leagues, particularly at Fine Court, creating quite a few new virtual permanent orienteering courses, and also in quite a lot of representations made to British Orienteering to get them covered under their insurance, which were successful and they now are. There's been quite a bit of work on making links with other groups, so starting with running clubs in the area, quite a few of the Harriers and things like that, where they've been very positive about receiving contact, and they've mentioned us, they've posted our events, and quite a few have come along to give it a try. More links with university clubs, some quite good discussions on Facebook with some of their leaders, and they're coming in quite large numbers to some of our events. And some contact with our local search and rescue team, Exmoor Search and Rescue, who cover the Quantock, the Black Downs, as well as Exmoor, who've endorsed our events like the Quantock Challenge, and they're keen to forge closer links. And one of the things we're talking about when things become a bit more normal are joint missing competitor exercises and maybe some more navigation joint training and things like that. Of course, the big thing that's occupied us for the last couple of months is how do we return to orienteering? Well, we've already got one event, the Quantock Challenge, and that model being used was a trial for what we're going to be using for JOG. So the idea for JOG is it's going to be done by family groups, individuals, whatever, at any time over a period, usually either a weekend or in some areas a week. Be done with GPS punching, mostly Map Run, though there are some other apps we're experimenting with. And basically you fill in a registration form on the club website, you again get a link to download the maps and the pin code, run it with Map Run or whatever, it uploads results and we get to see it. It avoids any need for face-to-face contact, it spreads everybody out, no physical things need touching there. So very safe as far as COVID, and in fact any other infectious disease is. But downside of GPS punching, there aren't the actual physical controls on the ground in these really tightly located things. So not perfect for something like a quaffle. So for there, and again heavily leaning on British Orienteering's guidance, you're going to have to register online and book a start time. We're allowed 10 competitors starting in the 15 minutes. Each one has a 1-minute start time. So we will probably be booking that through Fabian 4, though not fully decided which we'll go for. We'll make sure there's more space between all participants, officials, volunteers. Things as simple as getting a 2-meter cable for the download box to the laptop, so the download box can be a safe distance away from the volunteer manning the laptop. There'll be frequent disinfecting of equipment, particularly the start and finish boxes. Where possible, we'll enable contactless punching. These are just some idea of the measures, but the big one to be aware of is, unless things drastically change, this need to book a start time online before the event.